Thank you so much for coming back. Thank you so much for your patience. This is Joanna the medium, and these are going to be your readings for the month of May and June. They are coming late. I had some personal stuff come up. I had a loss in my family, and I was also hit with this energetic shift that made me feel, let's just say, discombobulated. So when that happens energetically, it's an interesting thing to go through, but it renders me not as effective when it comes to connecting. So I had to honor myself, and I had to honor my guides, and I needed to stay back a little bit and just allow this to pass through. The month of April and May have been quite challenging, to say the least, for many people. It has certainly been challenging for me. My understanding is that we were going through a massive energetic shift that has brought up a whole bunch of stuff to surface. So this would have affected differently to different people, but I am sure a lot of you were affected by it. So for me, it's coming to the end, but it has certainly not been an easy time to say the least. The month of May and June readings, or the month of May and June, are interesting because they felt very transitory to me. There is a lot of change in the air, and this could be because it's an after effect of the energetic shift. Most of the signs, if not all of the signs, are going through a lot of changes, transitions, a lot of endings, but also starting new beginnings. So very interesting to see. Almost every single one that I was doing had a component of ending on some levels, and endings are not bad. Endings just means that we are done with it. Our soul is done with it and says, okay, I want to experience something new and something different, something much more something bigger, and it's time to leave some things behind. So be prepared that the month of May and June, or whatever is remaining in May, you may actually have experienced some of this in May, but because it's coming out a little bit later in May, you may have already experienced this, or you will experience this in the remainder of May and June. So just be prepared that some of the energies might still feel a little bit shifty and slightly uncomfortable, not bad necessarily, but slightly uncomfortable. But I am being told that we're almost done with this energetic shift, and it will not happen for many years to come. We'll have little shifts, but this was quite, I almost said expensive. It was quite expansive and expensive on the energies, or on my emotions at least, for sure. Of course, these are general readings, so please listen to them. If they make sense to you, great. If not, listen to your moon, rising, or your other signs, or sun sign. And of course, if you would like a private session with me, that information is down below under show more section. I would be more than happy, honored to have a session with you. I think that's all I want to say. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for all your wishes. A lot of you have written to me asking if I'm okay, and yes, I'm okay, but it was challenging, to say the least. But thank you all so much for your concern. I truly appreciate it, and I am back on a regular schedule, and that's all I want to say. So again, thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you in July. Without further ado, let's get started. Hello, beautiful Leos. This is going to be your reading for the month of May and June. Even though it's coming late in May, you may have already experienced some of these energies, or you may still experience them in a remainder of May and June. When I was concentrating on you, first of all of a sudden I'm getting a headache. So a lot of you are dealing with a lot of stress in the month of May and June, particularly around the month of June. The stress is going to be, for most of you, financial, and it's to do with the future. So many of you might be experiencing financial setbacks, financial falls, financial insecurity. This would be around career, job, something to do with financial setbacks. You're either facing financial setbacks, or someone you are with is facing financial setbacks. This is career. there's some worries around finances, and we'll get into the finances deeper in a minute. But when I was connecting with your energy, I kept hearing the word discernment regarding opposing views. I also heard self-doubt regarding future and need to self-examine. So very interesting, because the cards kind of go with it. I hear these words before I actually put the cards down. I actually hear them as I'm shuffling the cards. So when the cards come out, it's very interesting. So the overall energy is also the energy of 9, which is endings. And I've said this to other signs. You might want to listen to your other signs, because it is consistent throughout the month of May and June. And whatever it is that we're dealing with, as far as a planetary change or energetic shift, vibration shift, whatever you want to call it, it is affecting a great deal of people, and it has affected me personally as well in many different areas. So you have the energy of 9. 9 is endings. 9 is about letting things go. 9 is about the universe taking things away from you because they are no longer useful to your growth. You have either outgrown them, grown them, or they no longer serve you, which is outgrowing them, and you are still clinging to something that is impossible to change. So obviously not for all of you, but this is going to be a substantial number of you where you will feel like things are coming to an end, and energetically you may also feel a bit of sadness. Now, the card that signifies actual energy is the card of truth, or the card of judgment in reverse. That is the overall energy. Okay. I also hear the word choices. There are, for some of you, in a month of May and June, you might be looking to buy or sell something, and you will need to make a decision. The decision is financially based. Okay. Having said that, what I also hear is that there is a refusal to see something for what it is, clinging to something that is not serving you anymore, or clinging to something that has become more of a burden than anything else. There's a need for self-reflection in order to, there's a need for self-reflection and examining your thoughts, and based on that decide where you want to take this situation. It has to do with future. So for many of you, this will be around relationships and work. The card that signifies which chakra will be most affected is the chakra of solar plexus. So that's all about confidence. That's all about inner power. It's about creativity. It's about confidence, as I said. It's about you feeling good. So month of May and June seem to be tricky. And I've said this in the beginning, most, if not all, of the other signs are getting consistent message. Now, that doesn't mean that it's actually anything bad, because remember, life goes in cycles or circles. No, it's cycles. There is death, there is rebirth, there is endings, there is new beginnings, there is ones and there's tens. Everything goes in cycles. When it's like fall, winter, spring, and summer. Cycles are a natural part of our existence. And throughout our existence in physical bodies, there is a need every so often to let go of things that no longer serve you, or they will be taken away from you. And that's because you're heading in a new direction, or you need to head in a new direction in order to experience a greater soul growth, or another level of growth as a soul. The discomfort that you are experiencing in the month of June and May is temporary, but for some of you it's going to be significant, and it is discomfort. It's I don't want to call it pain. It is a discomfort. It's an emotional discomfort. It sucks. It's uncomfortable. You want to put the blinders on. You don't want to see it. And then I hear the word resolution. So resolution means coming with a resolution toward in a situation, or resolution as in dissolution of changing things, as in letting things go or dissolving things. So that's the overall energy of May. Significant changes, May and June. Some of you are moving, some of you are moving careers, some of you are moving back home, is what I hear. And some of you, there's just a general movement in your life. You will often feel, for those of you who this resonates with, because this is a general reading, may feel like your life is like a tornado, and you may also feel very unstable. At times you will feel unsafe financially, not so much physically, financially, or emotionally you will feel unsafe. You will feel the stability underneath your feet is wobbly, and that is part of the 9. That is part of endings. That is part of when we let go of things, or when things are taken away from us that has brought us comfort in the past. It is not a comfortable thing, and I'm actually feeling it right now, and I feel like I'm not grounded. So for some of you, for those of you who believe in this whole idea about grounding, it is really, really important to stay on top of your exercise regimen. Whether it's yoga, whether it's going to the gym, whether it's running, whatever it is, it's really important to stay focused on your exercise program more than ever, because that will carry you through it. It'll help you get rid of some of those energies, some of the anxiety, some of this emotional discomfort. It'll channel some of that energy where you will be able to move on in a much more balanced way. Okay, let me just see if there's anything else as far as, see, he showed me the Fool. So shortly after, a brand new era emerges, and I just got hit with this energy of newness, and I just got chills all over me. So know that whatever you're going through right now is a transition time, and transition is not always comfortable. Trust me, I know. But be patient with yourself. That's one of the things that was coming. And be patient with people around you. You may also feel that in the month of May and June, people don't understand you. And again, the discernment with words is very important. You may also feel like you want to fire off. You want to just fire off because you're angry. You're some of you are fearful. Some of you are fearful regarding your future. And it could be as simple as, I don't know where my life is going because I feel blah. Or some of you might be in a process of losing something or losing someone, and that can be a scary proposition. Point is, it is a transitory time, and it will pass. Soon, in the next few upcoming months, we have the Fool, which is a brand new beginning, and you get to start creating again. You get to start creating fresh new ideas, fresh new aspects of your life. So May and June seems a little bit, let's just say it's not a road filled with petals, rose petals. Okay, now let's move on to the aspect of relationship. You actually have a great card because it's called success and growth. So fantastic. It's the 8 of Wands. But when I was again shuffling the cards and asking for the message regarding relationship, I got patience, also refusing to see the other points of view, or whatever is important. So if you are in a relationship and you're in a squabble, that's the word that he's giving me. You're into squabbles a lot. There's a need to pull away emotionally or pull back and reevaluate your stance. And I'm not going to rephrase this. I'm going to let you guys feel out what that statement means to you, but that's exactly how he asked me to say it. Step away, review your stance, and ask yourself what is important here that we are trying to accomplish. Okay, as we all know, fighting over little things not only not accomplishes anything, but it's really not about the things we're fighting about. If we're fighting about socks, it's not about the socks. So pull back and reevaluate your stance and ask yourself what is important. Some of you need to make some decisions regarding a relationship, whether it's because you need to take it in a different direction, you need to change things up, you need to spice things up, but that requires one, two, or two to have a conversation. Be honest with yourself. Have the ability to be truthful with another. That's really important. Obviously, I don't need to tell you, communication is key, and we often do not communicate for gazillion reasons, but openness here is really, really crucial at any point, but more so right now. Now, because the card is a good card, it also signifies to me that when it comes to your relationship, there is an improvement. Either things are going to improve, improvement is already underway, or an improvement needs to happen in order for things to move forward seamlessly. Whatever it is for you, that will require you to make certain choices and decisions. So whether it's a love relationship, whether it's a non-committed relationship, whether it's a family relationship or a relationship with a neighbor, whatever it is, there is a chance to make things better, but a conversation regarding the long-term aspect of your relationship has to happen. And he says the word soon, okay? Some of you might be on different planes. You will not see eye to eye, or you don't often see eye to eye. He says it isn't always a bad thing. Don't speculate what the other one is thinking without fully recognizing your own aspects first. Because many of your conversations are rooted in your subconscious trauma, belief system, pain, and it comes out in a conversation. He says involuntarily. It's almost like you can't help it. It comes out as an agitation. It comes out furious, sometimes anger. It just comes out. And it's a battle, ends up being a battle. So, self-reflection, very important. But the overall message is success and movement, or growth and success. So there is definitely an improvement in the area of relationships for you. And he showed me the sign plus sign, which is a bonus, which is great. For some of you, the message is don't let yourself be hanging. And I'm asking, what does that mean? And he's showing me, when you're hanging something, don't let yourself be hanging. It's to do with comfort. If you are experiencing a discomfort in your relationship, in some relationship, don't let yourself be hanging. Find a resolution that is suitable for both. And that's how I'm going to leave it. The don't leave yourself hanging is an interesting statement. So I'm going to let you guys figure out what that means. Or don't let your other partner be hanging. And it's to do emotionally. It's to do with emotional safety. So the next card is all about career, finances, and prosperity. And we have the card called Well-Deserved Reward. It is in reverse, unfortunately. It's the 9 of Pentacles. So this is how it's shown to me. Okay? So as you notice, 9. Here's another 9. I keep talking about 9s. Your overall energy, when I add up all the cards, is an energy of 9, and this is an ending. So when it comes to your career, something is coming to an end. Or something should be coming to an end. It is often signified with being overworked, putting too much attention to work or to a project. I also saw or heard career move and also refusing to see. For those of you who are in a job, and I feel like you're lifting a lot of weight, and this is a metaphor, but it's not making a dent. Maybe for those of you, it would make sense to jump ship or to change where you work. This is going to be so for some of you. Then I hear the words win or lose. For some of you, you are in this win or lose, whatever that means to you, taking it to the end. So for those of you who are struggling with a work situation where the work environment itself is a struggle, I hear there's very little room for improvement. In other words, the chances of things improving are not likely, or they're not highly likely, let's put it that way, but they're not likely. So your choice is to either stay where you are and see what happens, or make a decision to move forward in a different direction. That's for some of you, and I hear it's causing a lot of stress for some of you, okay? Because you are financially tied, obviously, and maybe you are the sole person responsible for making a living in your household. You're the sole provider, so that would be very difficult, of course. But I also hear that for those of you who are dealing with a work situation that is unsatisfactory, change is necessary. Not only is it necessary because it is no longer working for you, it is necessary because your soul yearns to be more. So your self-expression, or the way you express yourself with regards to how you bring money or how you bring abundance, your soul wants to experience more. It wants to grow. It wants to expand. And we are in a cycle 9, and this is a card 9. So that may mean for some of you that you've come as far as you can within your current work environment. If you are not working, because he's just giving that to me, it's time to start new search. Maybe you have been searching for something particular, but it's time to start to search for something different or something new, something slightly different or something new. Because I see some of you, for those of you who are looking, you're looking in one direction, and I'm feeling that you're supposed to go slightly in a different direction. Not necessarily altogether 180-degree difference, but there's a need for you, there's a feeling you need to step out of your comfort zone. And that's going to be both for you who are working and not working and are unsatisfied with your current situation, financially speaking. Some of you, I heard the word loan, and then I saw it being crossed. So this is a symbol to me that for some of you, unfortunately, you will not get the money that you were looking for as far as a loan. And this could be a car loan, this could be a loan, line of credit. For some of you, you're being refused financial aid from a bank, okay? And that's going to be challenging for you. At the same time, I feel that you have to go around it somehow. There's another way of doing this that but it would require you to put your thinking hat on. There's another way. If you are, for those of you who were applying for a loan because you need to invest that money somewhere, whether it's in a property, whether it's in some investments, and if you do get refused from a financial institution, I feel that there's another way you might be able to get a loan, but he says it will be from the least likely sources. So sources that you may not have thought of. And that will require you to put your thinking hat on to come up with some ideas and be very creative with regards to raising money or bringing more money. Some of you need to be more assertive when it comes to your work environment, whether it's assertive around a pay raise, whether it's just assertive in general. You need to become more assertive. And remember, the overall energy is refusing to see something for what it is. For some of you, the best course of action in a situation is to be more assertive in your work environment so that you can be taken more seriously. So that's obviously not for all of you. It's for some of you. Then I'm seeing the number 7. And this is 7 July. But it also, to me, symbolizes mastering an aspect of yourself. And then I'm hearing responsibility to self. You have the responsibility to yourself to ask for the things that are important to you, not wait for other people to give it necessarily without you asking. You have the message is you have a responsibility to yourself to ask for more, or to be more assertive, or to be whatever it is that you are struggling with in a work situation. It's coming up. Okay, some of you are borrowing money, and this could be from a family member, because I see hands exchanging money, and another sign got this, so you might want to check if it's your sign. And then I hear the word complete. So some of you will get money coming to you, or you will be giving somebody money in exchange for other service. There's exchange of money coming, and I think that's all I have around money. So it's not a bad message at all. It just there's some things you need to face. Now the card regarding health is 5 of Pentacles. So when I was connecting with this card, when I was actually shuffling, I kept hearing insecurity, emotional worry due to stress, and then I heard the words, what is after? So some of you, clearly I can see, are going to be bombarded with emotional distress because of the changes that you're going through, or because of the things that you have been facing, particularly within your finances, and some of you with relationships, some of you for both. But when I heard what is after, some of that worry is about, what am I going to do later? Like, what am I going to do after I let this job go? What am I going to do after I let the relationship go? What am I going to do after? There's a worry about the future. But for some of you, what's interesting is that I felt the question, what is after, was actually asking yourself the question, what happens when we leave this dimension? And it was very interesting for me to get that feel, because I assume for those of you who watch this that you have some kind of a spiritual belief, that you believe that there is something after we go away, or we go to the other side. But some of you are asking the question, what is after? Maybe you are with somebody who is wondering about this whole spirituality thing, and they're in a situation where they're under a lot of worry, and they're asking themselves a really deep question, sometimes we have those moments in our lives, especially when it comes to cycle 9s, because stuff comes up. We ask ourselves deep questions, like our soul wants to be more, know more, and we need to ask ourselves some deep questions. So that was quite interesting. Some of you are quite anxious. Because of it, you're having problems with your stomach. And, anxiety causes issues with digestions all the time. But, if this is you, pay attention to your mind, because quieter mind leads to less problems with regards to a body. So we all know the effects of stress that it has on the body. It is undeniable. He says to me, stress is the number 1 killer. And heart attacks are often due to stress. Now, this could be stress from the outside, but it could also be stress with regards to the stress we put on our body, whether being overweight, putting the wrong things in our body, wrong food, whatever it is, it causes stress on our organs. I don't even know how I'm saying this, but maybe this message is for some of you. Maybe you need to start considering a better alternative when it comes to a healthier lifestyle. Okay, some of you seeing chugging down a beer. I'm seeing beer, so for some of you it's going to be beer and burgers, and maybe that's your regular diet. Maybe that is what you practice essentially almost every day or on regular basis, and that will most certainly, without a doubt, cause havoc on a body eventually. So, but also hear the words, you're not alone. And even though the card says feeling alone, the message is you're not alone. Some of you are dealing with some health concern and it makes you feel very isolated. Maybe the health itself, the health conditions itself is isolating you, or you feel that no one understands you. And this would be more of a condition that I'm connecting to with the psyche, with the head. Maybe some of you are dealing, and I'm getting a headache right now, maybe some of you are dealing with a slight depression, and you might want to seek some help. Now, Leos are very strong. I have few Leos in my family. My son is also Leo, so is my husband. Leos are very proud for the most part. Leos don't necessarily talk a lot when it comes to their emotions. And that's not always the case, but this is my observation. Leos tend to struggle with a lot of their identity. That's what he's saying to me. Whatever that means to you. But point is, they're not often very expressive with that. And that can cause a lot of emotional struggle, emotional pain, emotional, not stagnation, but isolation. And also may cause you to feel maybe slightly blue or depressed like symptoms. If this is the case, notice some reoccurring patterns in your life and then see if you can somehow solve them or overcome them. I don't know why he's saying this, but I'm just going to trust you guys will understand what this means. Many of you, for most of you, the message about health is about pressure with work, pressure, financial pressure, and pressure will cause mental discomfort for sure. It'll for sure cause emotional discomfort. And I feel like some of you need to cry. Whether you're male or female, men tend to be less likely to show emotions still in this day and age, although for sure it's changing. The younger generation is much more in tune with their emotions. But the older generation, our generation, my generation, older generation, I would say 40s and up, you will have a tendency not to be very communicative when it comes to your emotions. And that can translate itself into a depression later on. So if you are dealing with this, find yourself a counselor, find yourself someone who can help you manage your feelings, manage your internal stress so that it doesn't become into something more. And all of a sudden, I was taken back to this whole statement about heart attacks. Now, this is not a prediction by any means, but stress, particularly internal stress, has a huge component on our heart. And it is why, still to this day, there are more men than women that are affected by heart attacks, because emotions are bottled down and they're not expressed, and then that is all energy. Carrying all that energy within without having an outlet is bound to come out some way. So if this resonates with you, maybe it's time you start thinking about the long-term effect of your stress. Okay? And I think that's what I want to do with this. I want to leave it. You guys are very strong. You are Leos. Leos are strong and powerful. Month of May and June will require you to dig into that strength, probably a little bit more than usual, but it's okay. You're going through a transition. This is a transitory time. It's not always going to be that way. So soon it will, you will feel much, much lighter. Okay. If this made sense to you, please comment. I love to read your comments. Thank you so much for watching, for sharing, for liking, for subscribing. This means more to me than you will ever know. And of course, this is a general message, so it will not connect to everyone. If it doesn't apply to you, listen to your other signs, or maybe it's just not a message for you. But if you would like a private session to see how your life is evolving, or how what you need in order to move forward, I will be more than happy to connect with you. That information is down below on the show more section. Connect with me through my website and we'll go from there. Okay, thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of May and June, and I look forward to seeing you in July around your birthday. Take care.